Rock history often looks ordinary while it is happening. A park bench, a backstage reunion, a tiny room, a joke between friends. Years later, those photographs reveal how much was already changing. On Mulholland Drive in June 1976, Alice Cooper and Keith Moon shared a cocktail while sitting on the hoods of their Rolls-Royces. By then, both men had made theatrical excess part of their public image. Here, that reputation is visible without a stage. 2 musicians, 2 luxury cars, and a private Los Angeles moment. After Sean Lennon was born in 1975, John Lennon stepped away from the public race and entered the years he often described as his house husband period. For one of the most famous musicians in the world, it was an unusually private choice. This picture catches that change at its simplest. Lennon at home in New York, holding his infant son. Backstage at Philadelphia's JFK Stadium on July 13, 1985, the 4 original members of Black Sabbath were together again for Live Aid. Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward had not played together since 1978. After only a brief rehearsal, they went on stage for 3 songs: Children of the Grave, Iron Man, and Paranoid. Pink Floyd were still the London underground band when they posed in Ruskin Park in 1967. Syd Barrett was at the center of the group, and their identity was tied closely to London's psychedelic club and art school scene. The park setting stands in sharp contrast to the enormous stages the band would later fill. At almost the same moment, Jethro Tull were still defining themselves. Ian Anderson's flute made the band instantly distinctive, and even their name was borrowed almost by accident from the 18th century agricultural figure during their early club days. At New York's Bebop Cafe on September 12, 1983, Phil Collins and Robert Plant were celebrating during Plant's North American tour. Collins was not simply another famous guest. He had played drums on Plant's first 2 solo albums and was touring behind him that year. The photograph captures an after-party moment between a singer and the drummer who helped launch his solo career. This 1984 portrait captures a temporary Red Hot Chili Peppers lineup. Hillel Slovak and Jack Irons had left, so Flea and Anthony Kiedis were joined by guitarist Jack Sherman and drummer Cliff Martinez. That 4-man version recorded the band's self-titled debut and represents one of its earliest recording and touring lineups. The Runaways were still teenagers when they became one of the most talked about rock bands of the mid-70s. By 1978, their image had traveled far beyond the Los Angeles scene. A photograph with television star Suzanne Somers shows just how deeply the band had entered mainstream pop culture. In 1976, Lynyrd Skynyrd had grown from the Jacksonville bar circuit into an act big enough to face a stadium crowd like this one at RFK Stadium. Their records had made them famous, but their live reputation mattered just as much. The crowd behind the stage shows how large Southern rock had become. By 1973, Jeff Beck had already moved beyond the Yardbirds and rebuilt his career more than once. Instead of repeating a formula, he kept chasing new sounds. That restlessness became one of the defining features of his career. A very different guitar identity came from Pete Townshend. By 1968, he had already turned guitar destruction into part of The Who's live image. The ritual began after he struck a guitar against a low club ceiling and finished destroying it on stage. Audiences loved it, and the accident became one of rock's most recognizable stage rituals. Thin Lizzy were still finding their international footing in 1974, but Phil Lynott was already the unmistakable center of the band. Whiskey in the Jar had kept them moving, while the bigger breakthrough still lay ahead. In 1969, David Bowie was still performing for tiny audiences at places like the Beckenham Arts Lab. Here, the crowd is only about 20 people. Before the personas, arena tours, and global fame, Bowie was still testing songs and ideas in rooms this small. The photograph preserves that scale better than any career summary could.